Common Council meeting to order on Tuesday, March 19th, 2013, 7 p.m. And I had asked the appropriate meeting notice has been posted.
The agenda was posted at Dave's Ace Hardware at the Shaw Municipal Building in Milton Piggly Wiggly. And upon the amendments, it was notified to the media immediately.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. I'd like to welcome everyone here. And at this time, we'll address any questions or concerns that are not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on to the item number 3, the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Old business, discussion and possible action on domain name change.
Thank you, Mayor. This is something that is outlined in your council packet. At the last meeting that we had as part of our marketing and branding strategy, as well as to maximize the traffic on the city's website, the council had authorized a domain change to a .gov website. Although available, we could not use a milton.wi.gov because of the registration requirements associated with the state government having the license on that, and we're not a state government. We could, however, use www.milton/wi.gov or some other rendering of that, but there had to be something else besides the .wi. And we also could not use www.milton.gov because the host said that because there's more than one city that has Milton on it, we need to have state clarification. So my question for the council is, A, do you want to still continue the pursuit of the domain change? And B, if so, what would you like it to be? We put a couple options out there, and I did have a few of them in the memo.
Well, with all the Miltons in cities, we've got to have Wisconsin in there, don't we?
That would be another option, although you'd have a lot more letters to type. You could do milton.wisconsin.gov. You just can't do Milton. Yeah, that's really long. So. You can write it up there if you want to see what some of the options might look like. It might be a little easier to take a.
And we can't do milton.wi.gov? Is that what you said?
You cannot, correct. We are not a state agency. We could try a slash or a backslash.
Smiley face?
I don't know about that. I could ask.
$?
The other questions that we didn't ask, because we were focusing on the .gov domain, Lisa, you went with the .org domain, correct?
Right.
And I know that was shorter. We could also ask about this. See if that would work as well.
We're not truly an organization, so I don't.
I'm not sure if we'll classify it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would be confused.
There is a miltonwisconsin.com, in case anyone's going to throw that out.
To be honest with you, Don, I don't know.
gaining anything.
Really, how many letters are we talking about here?
Well, could you just put WI, not city?
I don't, yeah, I don't
Because
know.
they would remember it's city.
Read the cover first.
This is what we currently have. You can see that's a lot of typing to get there, and the thought process would be that it falls short.
I guess I would agree with your suggestion for that.
Okay? Heard Maxine say yeah.
Certainly steamer.
What are the other options?
Right here, see if there's a backslash, or it could be, any one of those things there, perhaps an underscore, and there'd be some separation point there.
So basically dash or underscore. Well,
Yeah.
and then the-
Any one of those things that, some,
No problem with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dash is more commonly used.
That's what you like.
And my finger knows where to find the dash.
Wisconsin.gov.
I think having the .gov is important so people know it's the city site. I think all these other things are, although good, I mean, that, these reflect city components in wi.us, but more indicative of, as I think somebody said, hey, this is a government site, not some sort of organization. Mayor, any thoughts?
I like the Milton/Wisconsin.gov, it's like shorter.
Then you get on the backslash and the forward slash and,
The
You
hyphen?
know, we're not dealing with unintelligent people.
oh,
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, it's not that hard. If I can figure it out, most people can.
Hyphen or slash?
This one or this one?
top one.
I guess the top one, I don't wanna make it too difficult for people, I guess, but, it's really not that hard.
It's really only, we're only getting rid of 2 keystrokes.
Yeah. It's not like we're gonna prevent carpal tunnel.
No, I don't think it.
They can get that far before the arthritis kicks in.
Jerry, have you looked at .us, like there's a city of Milton, GA.us. So I don't know if you wanted to get rid of having slashes, and when we were looking at ones for the library, we wanted it just to be something we could tell somebody over the phone or over the desk, we just say, library.org, so they didn't have to remember there was a slash or dash or where it was. So I didn't know if you'd have more options with .us.
I haven't researched it.
Not having to have slashes and.
Right. Would the council want us to look at that, or are you comfortable with that? Or would-
Yeah, what are the requirements for US?
I don't know. Yeah.
I like .gov. I prefer that because it is a government site. It's not a US site. It's not,
MiltonWisconsin.gov? Spelled out, of course, you're typing a lot, but
Everybody knows how to spell it.
you're not.
Well, I thought the whole idea was,
You just can put it down.
I mean, we're doing this to eliminate keystrokes, is that what we're doing?
I think eliminating keystroke is good, but I think the most important thing is the communicability of it, right? www.ci.milton.wi.us.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of dots. MiltonWisconsin.gov is an option too. I mean, it's just,
That
what-
would be easy.
yeah, I mean, that's just and that's down.
It takes away, sometimes dashes hurt your SEO, so, both systematically and just like through human error. Google does weird things with dashes. I'm not an expert on it, but I know it pushes you down a little bit if someone's just Googling you.
And the thing is imagine this on the back of your police cars, on your stationery, and all those sorts of things. So that's why I kind of want to have that deliberate conversation with you, that, although there'd be a transitional period where we use up our existing stuff, the business cards, the stationery, the envelopes, all those sorts of things, I really want you to like it, because it's going to be on stuff for a while.
When you have talked about community branding, has Milton, Wisconsin as the state been a thing that you think will be a part of that branding?
We've only been in one meeting, but I would imagine it would be given our draw from Illinois. And the people coming up to the campgrounds and recently Nancy, Terry, and Inga were at a tourism conference, and so the websites would be directing people to discover Wisconsin, you know, those sorts of things. So I would imagine it would play some role.
Yeah, I think miltonwisconsin.gov is a good option. Everybody knows how to spell it, you're not confusing
Right.
dots and dashes.
I just typed it in and our website was the first thing that popped up. So it knows to find us right away.
Right.
But again, it's on the bumper of the cars, it's long. So, it's something to think about.
That's how it goes.
But if you just
We're gonna have
put,
to get bigger cars.
if you just put miltonwisconsin.gov, that took it and we
It'll be
came
all
up first.
SUVs.
Across the back. 2x4, double screws.
One of the things I'd be interested in seeing over time is looking at like how quickly the kids can text and type on iPads and do all those other things. I think, you know, the demographics of certain, you know, parts of society and their ability to get through that versus other parts of society, that's going to evolve over a period of time. This is going to be different.
So what's everybody comfortable with?
I like miltonwisconsin.gov.
Milton, WI got, like the one with the boats on it.
No dot between the Milton and Wisconsin.
All right, we'll do
That's hard to communicate. I work deal with Milton or Oregon, WI.com every day. So is
Probably-
Stoughton and a bunch of other places.
the best way there would be after a motion, huh?
Do you want a couple options?
MiltonWisconsin.gov is available too.
But you're spelling out all of Wisconsin, or you have the up and
Right.
the down?
Yeah.
Which one are we
You are-
speaking on right this
But
minute?
autofill will fill it in. I mean, we're acting like autofill is not gonna fill it in, and autofill will fill it in.
Okay. Wendy's, are you making a motion for Milton,
I'll
Wisconsin?
make a motion for www.miltonwisconsin, all one word, no spaces, no dots, no forward slash, .gov.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? I only heard two voices out of 6 here. I have a problem, and there's no one opposed.
Well,
How many don't care?
Everybody else is abstaining. We win.
How many don't care?
well, the part, yeah, I'm thinking,
Well, we just went from the one to
yeah,
what?
we were all talking about that one, and all of a sudden, we're talking about,
I can see getting rid of the dash, Wisconsin, just Milton,
We're,
WI.gov.
just wait,
I know.
we gotta stop here a second.
Okay.
Because I heard two votes for it and nothing else after when I asked them. Are the other 4 opposed?
now we're confused.
Well, we have to do something with this motion because it's just sitting out here in thin air. And if you want, I'll keep you here till 11 o'clock tonight. It won't be enjoyable for any of us.
The motion was for www.miltonwisconsin.gov, all spelled out, miltonwisconsin.gov.
That doesn't
The
shorten
motion
the
is
thing.
Makes it
Well,
Okay, but you don't have to type
can we
all that.
oppose it? If you're not comfortable with it, then oppose it. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for anybody to part water here. It's real easy.
Opposed, second, opposed.
Don?
I'm gonna pose it till because I'm gonna get straight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dave? Okay. There.
Motion fails.
Motion
Thank you.
fails. Now we can start discussion on the other stuff.
So this is what you're saying, if we go with that longer one, that people would, you think that would, just when you start typing in, it would come up on.
I think the autofill would fill it in. When I do a search, autofill kicks in and it brings a drop-down menu, and that would be in the drop-down.
Fair warning.
I mean, I don't think you'd ever really have to
Never swipe.
type the whole thing in. And I think what we were discussing before is that it's easier to verbalize www.miltonwisconsin.gov. That it wasn't necessarily the keystrokes, but it was just easier to say, people could understand it. You didn't have to have a dot, a forward slash, or a hyphen.
have that on the squads or someplace else, it's a lot.
That's,
Well, you don't have to have
Get a
it,
larger
That we
squad.
go with the first one, www.miltonwisconsin.gov.
you know what I like about the MiltonWisconsin.gov is the idea of being able to brand the words, Milton, Wisconsin, have it fit with whatever our, logo text, or our text logo is. So Milton, Wisconsin, whatever font it is, .gov.
Well, do you
Now,
wanna
could we
do a
go-
focus group?
as to whether Milton is WI or all spelled
This
out.
really can't be this complicated.
No,
Point of
you're
order,
right.
Mayor.
I made a motion.
So,
Motion on the floor for,
www.miltonwisconsin.gov.
All spelled out Wisconsin?
No,
WI.
You see how it's confusing?
do you want a dot? Is there a dot between that or a
yeah,
dash?
this is what we can't have.
You can't have.
You can't have that, because then we're affiliated with the state agency and we're not a state agency. Because the state has that, so we don't, and we can't.
So it would have to be Milton, WI.
Yeah, it has to be
dot gov.
dash or something else in there.
Oh, there's gotta be some, all right, then -wi.gov.
Okay,
Change my
So the reason that what we had discussed about that before is that it'll drop you down on a search. So like instead of Milton,
Potentially. I
Potentially.
mean,
Mayor, you have a motion.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All those in favor?
And that would be the,
It would be www.milton-wi.
well, that's not what she said.
Well,
Yes,
that was
that's what
it.
she
It
said.
is?
That's the one that Maxine
I'm
would
just
recommend.
clarifying.
Okay. All opposed?
Did we vote in favor yet?
I have two.
Oh.
Did you call for a
It's
vote?
been,
All
was
in
there,
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Motion carries.
Aye.
Thank God. You're
How
right.
many
Should've
minutes
never
did we
been that
spend
hard.
with the bumper?
it's all Brett's fault.
I didn't do that.
You scared everybody with your Google thing.
And it'll be, is that a dash, a hyphen, or a forward slash
we
on the phone?
hope to
Is
be
that
able to.
underscore
That's
or
what we
dash?
get to explain
I
now.
know.
It's a dash.
It's a
It's real
dash.
easy. It's a
That
dash.
figured
It's a
out.
Every
key
day.
stroke. Please don't hurt yourself. Okay, on to new business. Item A is gonna be tabled. I'd like a motion to table that.
So moved.
Staff is not prepared at this time, present a proposal.
Yeah, just a little quick history. I did send out what IDM sent us over at 12:45 this afternoon, and we did, Inga and I had an opportunity to review it. I'm sure the council is aware, the Economic Development Commission does support the idea of the council moving forward with a Phase 2 use of IDM for hotel recruitment efforts. But I do think that in their scope of proposals that was sent out, there's some things that staff could do and some things that IDM can do, and I'd just like to vet that through with staff before I come forward with a recommendation. Not prepared to do that yet, with having had contract negotiations with the Police Officers Union from 1 until about 3:30, didn't get a lot of time to review it.
And one of the things that the Governor's Tourism Conference had yesterday is there is a group of hotel that had a booth, and I would like to explore what we don't have to pay for that is available to identify good hotels. And, with that, I'd like to direct you to check that out.
Yeah, I moved to table.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. B, discussion and possible action regarding cost estimates for taking the police department, municipal court, and administration capital project construction drawings and out for bid.
Thank you, Mayor. This information, again, from Angus and Young and General Engineering. General Engineering's proposal came in on Friday afternoon. Angus Young's information came in this morning. I did have the opportunity to go over with the department directors individually. Met with both Michelle and Connie, and then with Dan, and also got some input from Howie. Lisa was able to weigh in electronically. You'll see the proposals. They were submitted before with a lot of good detail, a lot of good information, and using the design that was approved at the last council meeting on March 12th. The two different proposals came in, the one from Angus and Young, at a total cost of $156,040, The proposal from General Engineering was $173,645, or a difference of over $17,600 between the two firms. The memo outlines really 4 issues that were evaluated in the staff evaluation, one of them being scope of services. The 2 proposals were nearly identical in terms of their scope of services. In particular, soil boring testings was not included in either one of the firm's proposals. We did, through Howie, communicating with Gary Vogel, we could get soil boring testing done for about $3,300, about 6 different soil borings done on the site through our own city engineer's office, so we would not need to outsource that other than through our own city engineer. Issue number 2 is the overall, summary, if you will, of the total cost. Again, recognizing that $17,605 less is Angus Young's proposal. Issue number 3, more so a little bit harder to quantify, but what we referred to in the memo as a continuity on the project. What I felt was successful when we did the Public Works project was that the very same firm that did the initial phase 1 design work was also the firm that we have for construction management. They're familiar with staff and staff needs and staff input, and so kind of, for lack of a better term, changing horses kind of midstream, if you will. There's an opportunity for some setbacks and inefficiencies while a new firm gets acclimated to the project. And then issue number 4 is that, both costs are less than what were originally presented in the project that AYA set forward in terms of their bidding and design costs. Of course, with Angus Young being less expensive of the 2 that submitted for the proposal. So both are within the $2.5 million allotment that you had sought to stay within. And staff's unanimous recommendation is that Angus and Young be selected to take the project to mechanical drawings and then out to bid.
Jerry and I had this discussion today. I read all this stuff as soon as I got the email. I don't see a problem with going with Angus and Young. I mean, we had very good luck with General Engineering, but there's no way possible to justify the spending of $17,000 extra for the same surfaces. I like the fact that Angus and Young has had it from the beginning. It's not like they're amateurs. So they built a lot of the city buildings in the city of Janesville. So, I mean, they're far from that. And I think we're going to get a good product. Whoever we choose tonight, I'll have Jerry set up a meeting with him so I can sit down and explain to him the fine points of a project, as we did with General Engineering. Here's your money. This is all you have to spend. You will not run over budget. You can't clarify that enough. And a lot of government projects go out and they come back, and all of a sudden you end up with a couple $100,000 you hadn't planned on. That doesn't happen here. I made that perfectly clear to General Engineering when they did the DPW building, and it seemed to work out all right. We only came $1 in under budget, but we weren't $1 over. Hey, you're dealing with the people's money, and you got to make sure that people understand that they don't have a bottomless pit of cash to work with. And that will be one of the points that I make to them when I meet with them. We'll have that discussion again. I don't like it when I see government projects run over because people think that government is just an endless supply of taxpayers' money. It doesn't work that way. So whatever one the council chooses, we'll be having that discussion with myself and Jerry in short order. I had that with General Engineering, and I'll have it with whoever we choose. A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Jerry, if you could find a time when we could meet with them to let them know what our expectations are.
One question on the bidding part. Are our local people going to be able to, last time I got some comments that some of our
We had local people involved in the process the last time. Unfortunately, if a contractor out of Madison, we had, in fact, we had several emails, I don't know if anybody else got them, from the electricians union, claiming we weren't employing local help, which was not true. We employed the contractor with the lowest bid. I don't care to get any more of those emails, and because of the fact that we have no control over that. What's done is done. Once this goes out for bids, and whoever wins the bidding picks their people that work for them. We have no control over that whatsoever. So don't be sending me any emails telling me I'm not supporting union labor, because quite frankly, we did the best we could with what we had last time. We did get Jason involved in general engineering and everything else, and it was a big deal over nothing. We can't do anything at the city level once it goes out for bids and the bids are accepted. Our hands are tied. I just want to let everybody know that now. So if anybody calls you and says you're not using local help, it's out of our hands. There's nothing we can do about it. Hopefully they'll use local labor, but you got to understand, if somebody in Madison bids cheaper than somebody in Janesville, I would hope that we would take the guy from Madison because he's cheaper. It saves us, it saves the taxpayers that buck, and that's all we need to do.
Maxine, we will ask that they publish it in the newspaper so that those folks have an opportunity to throw it in. And we do ask, like when Gary from Baxter Woodman, as Tom indicates, once a general contractor is done, it is up to them who they pick for their subs, and we encourage them to pick from a list, but they have to work within the framework of the contract to get there, so.
We tried doing that very carefully last time. We asked them, general engineering, to pick local as much as they could.
And we did get some.
But sometimes cheap is not always better.
ECI was a
Knight's worked there. Blacktop was,
Frank Brothers?
they had some gravel work. And there were a few, but the interior people weren't
Well,
as
I
many
just
local.
got a comment from a couple of business that they weren't offered the chance to bid, and that's just why I was asking.
Oh, I know, but the one thing they do, they all have to, on a bigger project, they have to pay the state wage rates no matter what, so they can't just have low paid people there. There's a state wage rate they have to meet, so that makes it a little more fair.
It's sometimes challenging for the locals to be able to make that.
Yeah, I understand all
Yeah.
that, but I just wanted them, if it was possible for any of them, so we didn't hear, I didn't get the bid.
Along with that process, then, now that that's been approved, staff will be working on, for your review at the April 3rd meeting, a conversation with Todd Taves and orchestrating the financing piece so it runs simultaneously with this particular aspect of the project, because the execution of this contract, your $150,000 plus the $300,000 that we built for the Dean building into that project. So want to make sure that our financing lines up appropriately with the, presuming a contract is awarded, that you have that money available to you to start the project and at the pace that you want it to, so.
Okay, general items. Our next meeting is Wednesday, April 3rd. Mayor and alderpersons reports, I have nothing. Alderpersons, anyone? Staff report, city administrator.
Just two quick things. One is the Gathering Place will be hosting an authors fair from 1 to 4 on Sunday, April 14th. So there'll be about 10 different authors that are coming into town. And so if you want to go there, there'll be opportunities for book signings and to learn about the books. And they're trying to get some regional support. So I intend to go and kind of welcome those people to the community. And then other than that, the candidates forum is this Thursday night for elected offices, and the election on April 2nd. So encourage everybody to get out and vote. That's it.
Howard.
Nancy won't be there.
You know,
All right,
So we're taking
there's an optimist.
community garden permits again this year. And that's, those open May 1st. I think they go and plant them, but you can get your permit now. Otherwise, just hoping it's done snowing finally.
Supposed to warm up.
And this spring, you'll notice there's a lot of park projects going on. We're gonna replace playground equipment at Veterans Park, hopefully by May 1st.
Excellent.
You get the frost out of the ground, you set it,
It's not terrible. It's only
About
it's
three.
about 10 to 12 inches in the grass areas.
yeah,
Under the street,
it's 3
really
inches.
deep. Yeah, streets,
I've-
it's really deep.
Been doing some soil testing.
Okay, police department.
Nothing.
You're a good man, Dan. Library.
April's a busy month for us. We have the community-wide reading event, so I encourage everyone to grab a copy of The Great Gatsby. We'll have a couple book discussions and some giveaways, tickets, because the new release of the movie comes out, The Great Gatsby, in May.
Thank you, Lisa. You do realize tonight that vote that we did tonight means you get the building. Are you ecstatic? It's hard to tell.
You can tell we're not talking about the library tonight by the audience here.
Yeah. Okay, joint fire's not here, city clerk.
As you all may know, there is an election 2 weeks from today. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee voting is going on this week and next week. Voter registration is going on this week and next week. Also, a reminder to license your dogs and cats by April 1st. We're hoping, I asked for a quote for some postcards. We still have about 600 animals out there that are not licensed. So that would be a lot of letters if we were to send those out. So we're trying to figure out what we can do to notify the majority of people.
Still only figured out why we got a license cats. That really bothers me.
Thank you.
City treasurer.
Not today.
Atta girl.
Tomorrow's the treasurer's birthday.
Yes, two notes of interest for our treasurer that I forgot to bring up during administrative reports, and an entry into a new decade for our treasurer tomorrow, and also
Nice.
now a City of Milton resident.
30?
Really?
Yeah.
That a girl.
So,
I was gonna go backwards, but I like going backwards that fast.
Can never start too early.
Maybe we should get her address so we know we can put signs up there.
It's a good idea.
Decorate our house? Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dave, if you would, please.
Consideration of motion to convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, investing in public funds, or conducting or other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session. Reference possible industrial park land acquisition and expansion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carries. Unanimous decision of the council. Jerry assures me this won't take long, so Linda, you can stay. Sorry, boys from the press, you didn't believe. At least for a couple minutes, anyway. I was assured